Good evening. I apologize for the chaos in the background of the scene. Um, this episode is going to just be me showing you my traveling guitar setup. So I'm merely a recreational guitarist. Um, I'm not trying to do gigs, but when I have to travel, I would like to take a guitar with me and be able to play it. And my challenge to myself is what's the least amount of stuff I can carry around and still satisfy that urge. And I've got it down to a guitar, which is obviously not going to be something I can get rid of, and a cable that plugs straight from the guitar into the or microphone input on my laptop. And to get that to work, you need to have a guitar with active electronics, which this one now is because I've modified it. But if you've got EMG or Fishman pickups, any guitar with a battery in it, you're already sorted for this. It does require a moderate amount of setup, but I'm going to take you through how I have it set up to work. So this is the DAW that I use. I've got let me show you the audio settings. So I have the ASIO driver for my laptop's sound card. That's important for this DAW. Other DAWs may work fine with Windows Audio. This one does not do WASAPI yet. So I just need to say the input comes from my external guitar, and then we can already hear that my guitar is on that channel. However, it doesn't sound very electric guitar-y because we don't have a amp and cab in the loop, but I've got a plug-in here from Neural DSP which allows me to replace that functionality, and as soon as I do this I can play the intro music. Guitarists using digital effects or plugins will get het up about is whether it's what the latency is on the track. And I will say when I'm just using the laptop, it's fine. I don't notice it. In this case, what's happening is my laptop is doing the work, and then the audio is going out from my laptop into my audio interface for my other PC, which is also capturing the images of the laptop screen that you're seeing. And that is what is, so I'm then hearing it after it's been bounced off another audio interface, which adds its own latency. So in the setup I'm using this evening, I can notice the latency and I'm not enjoying it as much, but in real life use cases, I don't notice the latency. Now, I said there were some setup things to do. I will now show you those. So this is the Realtek audio console, as you can see up there, and we've got so all of this is stuff you want to turn off for the microphone input that's on the laptop, just to stop it getting in the way of things. But the other thing that's useful is in this connector retasking in this advanced settings. So my laptop has a singular connector that's just got one of the 3.5mm jack sockets that can be used either for a headset or headphones or a microphone. So if I, at the moment, I've got a splitter plugged in so that I can take headphone audio out as well as putting the guitar in, and that means I need this set to headset. But if I'm in a, if I'm able to make noise, I can just set it to microphone in this setting, and then it will allow me to plug the guitar straight into the laptop and hear the sound through the laptop speakers, and that's actually an okay enough experience. I mean, obviously it's very quiet compared to a guitar amp, but it sounds okay. I don't remember how I renamed this input to be called guitar, which is a little bit unfortunate because I would like to be able to tell you that. Maybe it's in here. No. Very curious. I did that at some point because it obviously shows up as microphone, and my laptop has a integrated microphone, which was slightly confusing me. So I wanted to rename it to guitar rather than headset to make more sense for my use case. That's somewhere in control panel then, because I've clearly done that in the past. Sorry, I cannot remember exactly where that is. But that's all the basics, I think, that I wanted to show you. Now, the rest of this is going to be a few notes that are going to be specific to if you're trying to use the Neural DSP plugins to achieve this stuff. So we'll switch back to the laptop view, and this is the standalone plugin now. I have not been able to get the ASIO mode to work with the Realtek ASIO driver. As you saw just now, it was working fine through FL Studio, and it doesn't work in the inbuilt plugin. It's a little bit right. It's not a problem for me. I guess I'm mostly putting it here in case you were to try this, run into this error. It doesn't mean that you can't do this. It just means that the Neural DSP standalone plugin can't cope with the Realtek ASIO driver. I guess also if you're watching and you're work for Neural DSP, you might want to fix that, because if a customer downloads your plugin, tries it standalone, and that's the experience they get, then they're probably going to not buy it because it looks like it doesn't work. There's another, so if I want to use the standalone plugin, the only setting that works is the Windows Audio Exclusive mode. I'll pick the same plugin so it's fair, but I have noticed a few more discontinuities in the sound using it standalone in this mode. Find a cleaner tone. It's not by any means bad, it's just that there's a very slight you hear that crackling? So nothing's clipping, we can see the meters at the top, but it sounds very much like something's digitally clipping. Now again, I don't get that when I run this as a plugin inside FL Studio with the ASIO driver, and I can't be certain that it's not something to do with, whether it's something to do with Windows Audio or something to do with the audio implementation in this plugin. But again, it feels kind of more like a bug. So this is the setting I would actually want to use if I was using this plugin, because it allows me to play along. It's a not exclusive owner of the sound device, so I could put a YouTube video with a backing track or play some music out of my library of music, or play a track I've previously recorded that I'm trying to think of a solo for, and then play along over this. But as you'll hear, it goes weird, like the gain isn't stable on the non-exclusive mode. Okay, that is working better than it usually does. Let me see if... So I have been trying to fix this, and apparently without noticing I've succeeded. Let me just see if Windows Audio Normal still has the error, the erroneous behavior I was seeing. No, it does not. Well, I'm very pleased to see that that started working. Can't explain why. I'm very pleased that that now looks like it's going to be working fine. As I say, it wasn't working for a while. I did recently put a BIOS update on this machine, and it's very possible that that has fixed the problem that I had. So, I mean, if you were having weirdness with yours, maybe that's the answer, going to be the answer for you as well. Cool. Oh, one last thing. In this plugin, we've got speaker and amp emulation. So almost all, well, certainly all the neural DSP plugins I've looked at have a page for an amp and a page for a cabinet. What I've got here is these are impulse responses of the cabinet that I have in the room with me here when I'm playing at home on a normal amp. And then I measured it with all the microphones I have and in the normal positions of, centrally to the speaker cone and then off to the side. And then I have figured out which blend of two of those impulse responses at which level sounds the most like the amp that I normally have in the room with me. So whereas previously I've said a few times that what you're hearing, what I'm hearing don't sound the same. Obviously, whenever if I was going to play through the plugin and listen on headphones, what you hear and what I hear were always going to be the same as each other. But they're also now, as long as I use these IRs in this mix type, they're going to sound the same as my amp in my room does to me subjectively. So yeah, let me recap. In order to do this, you're going to need a guitar with active electronics, a cable that goes from your guitar to the microphone input of your laptop, and some software on your laptop that approximates the sound of a guitar, amp, and cabinet so that it doesn't sound too weird. If you do not already have such software, then all of the Neural DSP plugins are available as 14-day trial, or at least every one I've ever looked at has been available on a 14-day trial. And unless you're having a lot of holidays, you could, just try out one every time you go away, and you probably never get through them. I didn't pay for the Plini plugin that I showed you. They gave a copy of that free to everyone who purchased a Quad Cortex in a certain time window that I happened to fall into. They haven't paid me to make this video or to mention their plugins. I'm just showing you what I actually use because that's the most honest thing for me to do. If you want to know how to modify a guitar to make it act for electronics when it isn't already, get in touch. I can tell you, if you're handy with the soldering iron, what you need to do. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in another one. You know how to use the subscribe, like, and comment boxes, I assume. Cheerio.